Hey guys, welcome back to my weekly videos. If you've never been here before, my name is Sarah and I make videos on self-development and faith-based content, and I just like to come on here and share with you guys my thoughts and different perspectives, and I hope it can be thought-provoking. So for this video for today, this was actually requested. I did a video about a year and a half ago on not caring as much about our physical appearance and the huge revelation that I had about this. And someone basically reached out and said that this video really helped them and that they'd like to see an updated version of it. So yeah, basically what I would say is it's not about throwing out the idea that you don't care about your physical appearance. It's that you no longer have it in the forefront of your mind. It's something that you do mentally. And then also, most importantly, it's that you do not allow it to define you, where you find your identity in it. Okay, so I am really quickly going to share with you guys how this affected me personally. It may sound very surprising to some people. It may sound very normal to some people because, again, I'm not judging people for making the decisions that I did. I am in no way in this mental state anymore. I'm 28 years old. This was specifically when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, I would say. And so I'm just going to share with you guys exactly where I was at really quickly. This is not a victim story. I just have to tell you to get the point across. Since I was 3 years old is the earliest time I can remember, I was highly critical of myself. I remember I would cry and not want to put certain outfits on. I thought I was ugly. I never thought I was an attractive child. And when I was, I think, 12 years old, that's when I started like playing with hair and makeup and stuff like that. From that point forward, I thought that my value and my identity was found in external beauty, and that was something that completely consumed me and I thought was like the ultimate goal. And so that's just how it always was. Specifically when I was about 17, I really started to develop body dysmorphia, and I was aggressively eating in a certain way and exercising in a certain way to aggressively and very quickly manipulate my body type. Again, in my mind, it was never good enough. And something that I have to say, because I've seen this before and it's just so not true. A lot of people think that this is out of vanity when majority of the time it's out of insecurity. Someone can look like they are, you know, self-obsessed and very vain when in fact behind it is actually the insecurity. This comes from having a poor self-image. It is mental, it is emotional. That's why someone who you can view as maybe very attractive, they don't see themselves that way because it's their self-image, or they're constantly attracting relationships where the person cheats on them and you're thinking, oh, this person's so beautiful, why is this happening to them? It does not matter. It doesn't matter because it's about how they see themselves. It doesn't matter how many people tell you that you're beautiful or you're this or you're that. It doesn't matter, and it does not discriminate. That's why people who have eating disorders, they can be very thin to the point that of almost death, and they don't even see themselves that way. And so yeah, I really wanted to clarify that instead of being so critical and hard on people who come across as vain, just keeping in mind that if they really truly had a good self-image and really thought that they were beautiful, maybe they wouldn't behave in a certain way, or maybe they wouldn't do whatever they're doing that you may claim to be very vain. So again, this is something that really consumed me. It was never good enough no matter what I did. I just felt like, oh my gosh, it's not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. And all I wanted to do was just attain this beauty. And when I was 21 years old, I had breast implants. When I was 22 or 23, I had otoplasty, which is when your ears are pinned back. I didn't end up doing anything else, but I wanted to do many things. Now, something to keep in mind, and this is very key. When I was 21 years old, I started getting into self-development and I started working on my mental and my emotional health. And I noticed that over those years, even though it was not a radical transformation, I never went ahead with doing any other surgeries, and I ended up not really wanting to do anything else. It just wasn't really in the forefront of my mind anymore. And I definitely would attribute that to working on my mental and my emotional health, where I started to slowly see myself differently. I wasn't fully, but I did slowly start to see myself differently. And I also just wanted to say, I don't blame anyone for wanting or having had done any procedures or surgeries, because this is what society tells us is beautiful. This is what society tells us that is important and what we need to focus on and that we need to hang on to our youth. So of course no one is to blame here. It's the industry is playing off of our insecurities and creating insecurities and then creating remedies for the insecurities, which are their products, which is how things are sold. They create an issue and then they are providing the solution. So basically the point for me that was like a huge turning point was a year and a half ago. As you guys know, or some of you guys know, I have been a born again Christian walking with the Lord for 2 years. And so oh my gosh, like my whole entire life has been turned upside down in a really, really good way. And I'm a totally different person. But basically a year and a half ago, I went on a vacation with my parents. Basically, long story short, I had a lot of time to reflect and I was just hit with this revelation that it's hard for me to explain because it was a huge impression that I just felt on me. And it was like, you are focusing on the wrong thing. This does not matter. And this is not the answer for everyone, because I could have easily not done this and it wouldn't make a difference. But in that moment, I felt that I wanted to get explant surgery and have my implants removed. And I did that a year ago. And then I reversed my ear pinning, which didn't fully work on one of my ears, but whatever. It doesn't actually matter if I reversed my plastic surgery or not. It really wasn't about that. It is about changing the inside and changing the way that we view ourselves. And I made this decision because I just didn't feel like me. I was like, I don't even recognize myself this way. This is not me. And yeah, but again, it's not the answer for every single person. It's most important that we work on the inside. Okay, so now I wanted to share with you guys a practical aspect of this, which I shared in the last video as well, which basically is that, okay, so I believe that we should respect our bodies. I believe that we should view our bodies as a temple. I believe in eating healthy and eating food that nourishes our body, not dieting out of insecurity. I believe in exercise because it's good for us, but I don't believe in obsessively exercising out of fear and out of insecurity and obsessively manipulating our bodies into a way that's totally unnatural. I believe it's okay to like doing your hair and makeup and to have fun with clothes and fashion, but this is going to be individual. All of us know when we are allowing something to consume us, when we are feeling anxious that we need to have a certain outfit because we need to keep up with the Joneses and that we need to appear a certain way, that we need to have that perfect Instagram photo. We all know, if we really think about it, what our motive is behind posting that photo or behind wearing that outfit or behind getting that procedure done. We know as individuals if we actually sit down and reflect. So the point of it is not to say that you roll out of bed and you don't brush your teeth and you don't brush your hair because you don't care what anyone thinks of you. I think that if we respect ourselves and have a good self-image, we're going to want to have good hygiene, and we can present ourselves as the way that we would want, the way that feels natural to us, and the way that is true to us, and that is in a professional way. Like we can, we take care of ourselves, like steam your clothes, put on a nice outfit, do your thing. But then mentally you drop it. The reason I say to drop that is because if we are allowing that to consume our minds and putting that like on a pedestal that this is something that's important, we are taking away so much energy, so much mental energy from focusing on the things that actually matter, which would be working on our mental health, our emotional, working on healing our soul, working on pouring into our spirit, working on our heart and our heart issues. And that's who we are. That's our personality. The outward appearance is not who we are. So it's the most important, again, in my opinion, I 100% believe this. It is the most important to work on the inside. Put all of that energy that we're focusing on the outside on the inside. And that is what is going to shine out. That's why you can meet someone who is not classically good looking and then you fall in love with them when you get to know them, because you see their soul, you see their spirit, and they're so beautiful. Okay, and I have to read this quote, and this is when a comment is made to me about my physical appearance, about, oh, you should wear more things like that, or oh, you should wear your hair like that, or oh, you shouldn't cut your hair, or you shouldn't wear those glasses, or whatever. Truly, I'm not offended by those comments, and I'm totally fine if someone wants to say those things to me. Really, I'm not offended. But I love this quote, which says, "She never looked nice. She looked like art. And art wasn't supposed to look nice. It was supposed to make you feel something." Okay, I have to read you guys some scriptures about what the Bible says about beauty. So I'm just going to fire some off that are really good. So there's Song of Solomon 4 verse 7, and it says, "You are altogether beautiful, my love. There is no flaw in you." There is 1 Peter 3:3-4, and it says, "Do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of hair and the putting on of gold jewelry," as in wearing gold jewelry, "or the clothing you wear, but let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious." Here's another good one, Proverbs 31 verse 30, "Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised." Okay, here's the last two, Genesis 1 verse 27, "So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created them." Something I just have to say on that is, again, if we are letting society dictate what is apparently beautiful, when God is saying he made us in his image, therefore everyone is beautiful. I'm going to get back to that. Okay, and here's the last one, which is 1 Samuel 16 verse 7, and it says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look at his appearance or the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Okay, because we're on this topic, I have to say this. It's not even funny how much, the more that we view this type of stuff, no matter what society says is beautiful, we are going to slowly be influenced or brainwashed to believe that it is. I just want to give you guys an example. I used to be obsessed with this app called Tumblr. I still like to go on it sometimes. It's a very like teenage young girl app, but basically the types of photos on Tumblr are the types of photos that you probably see on your Explore page now. So I was obsessed with this from 2009 or something like that. So when I was about 17 years old, I was so obsessed with this, and the images that I would see would be a certain body type. I was so obsessed with having that specific body type. About 7 years passed, and that body type was no longer the trend or what was in. It was showing a different body type. I noticed that then I found that body type attractive. There were certain even skin tones and certain hair textures that were constantly being shown to me, and then I wanted to have that skin tone. I wanted to have that hair color. Then there are things like, I used to think my stretch marks were unacceptable and that they could not be seen. This is what I thought like in high school. And now stretch marks are embraced, and actually, because we're constantly being conditioned to see stretch marks, a lot of companies actually are not photoshopping them out anymore. That's the same as showing textured skin or people who have acne and not photoshopping that anymore. We're starting to make it normal. The thing is that we can constantly be manipulated by society in being shown what is in and what is not. I'm actually really for all of those movements that show stretch marks, that show acne, that show things that we consider to be flaws or unpopular. I am definitely for those things. So I definitely think that the more that we can put out photos or images of ourselves that are not edited, that are real, that are not about trying to be the hottest girl or the hottest guy or whatever, and trying to show a certain angle that's not, actually true. The more that we can do that we're going to normalize just being human. So I really wanted to get that point across to you guys, that this is again going to be individual for everyone. It's okay to like all these things, but what I personally have been trying to do is limiting my intake of looking for me at my Explore page, because that has really influenced me into thinking I need better clothes, I need to work out more, and my body doesn't look like that. It doesn't matter if someone sees you right away and doesn't think that you're the most beautiful person, because first of all, if they're going to reject you based off of that, then that's not the right person for you to be friends with or to date or to be hired by or whatever it is. Okay, and the last scripture that I'm going to share with you guys, it is so good. It's about being beautiful on the outside, but essentially rotting on the inside. This is something that Jesus is saying to the Pharisees, who basically are very religious, not all of them, but tend to be religious, self-righteous people who do good works in public, like, pray on the streets and give in public and stuff like that, and it's all based on good works, but on the inside they actually don't have good hearts and they're not genuine. Okay, so here's the scripture. "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of the bones of the dead and everything unclean. In the same way, on the outside, you appear to people as righteous, but on the inside, you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness. So imagine that. Imagine us focusing all of our time on trying to keep up with what we see on our Explore page and celebrities and everything that we're being shown. Imagine just constantly giving into that insecurity and anxiety of trying to keep up and spending money on all sorts of things. Imagine doing all of that when we could just be free, when we could just be free and say, oh my gosh, I don't even have to look at these things anymore. I don't have to look at these things anymore. I get to say what I think is beautiful. God already thinks I'm beautiful. The right people will come into my life who love me for who I am and who want to get to know me. And I'm going to work on my mental health, my emotional health, my spiritual, and focus on other people and letting our lights shine through, because that is truly what makes you beautiful. I can tell you from experience time and time and time again. So that's all I really had to say for this video for today. I would definitely say praying for identity and praying to ask God to show you the way that He sees you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you think someone would enjoy it, please share it, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.